Hey folks, it's Maxie here and welcome to another TEW2020 video. You join us today for the biggest party of the summer, and hopefully a party that will be a lot bigger than last year's. The show last year was obviously affected at the end by the burnt out crowd, which saw a great co-main event of Ruby Riott versus Tamina, and then a very poor main event of Drew versus Brock, only scoring a 66, when in reality it would have scored a lot higher. So without crowd management on, we should be looking at a good event. Still a risky main event, so I don't know if we will definitely gain pop. But overall I'm happy with the feuds we're carrying, and hopefully we should see some new superstars pretty much be made out of this. It's also going to be the first time it's a major pay-per-view since the 1.17 patch came out with the alteration of pop caps. So I'll be interested to see if anyone has managed to break theirs. So we're sitting with generic music with a C-list celebrity, and 15,000 has been spent on a special set. I know it's SummerSlam, but it's not Mania, so just a few wee alterations to that. And hopefully we can have a good show. So we're booking it from West Point, New York, so we're looking at an attendance of roughly 40,000. We're going to try and sell it out, so we're in the good old tri-state region. Hopefully attendances can get bigger and bigger, because the economy is rising alongside the wrestling industry. So if we can keep growing in popularity parallel to the economy and the wrestling industry, then hopefully we'll maybe be able to beat some of the attendance accomplishments that are in the game, or achievements I should say. So 26 segments, let's do this. This is the 2021 Summerslam Pay-per-View. So we've managed to get the sellout of 40,000 in West Point, New York. And because it's not a television show, we start with a hype package documenting the many feuds we're going to get tonight, and the main event for the WWE Championship. The WWE Champion, the turncoat Angel Garza, who cashed in his money in the bank on his friend Andrade and basically stole the championship away from him. So hyping up that main event, and that was 69 rated. The opening contest of the night is the big feud that's been going on Monday Night Raw, the Great War between the Undisputed Era alongside the Disciples of Rollins, and they take on the Magnificent Seven, of course the Extended Imperium, with Thatcher, Gibson and Drake involved. But this started with a 6-man tag. It was about that had subpar wrestling and little heat. It was the United States Champion Austin Theory, Murphy and Roderick Strong, who defeated the Magnificent Sevens, Alexander Wolf, Fabian Aichner and Marcel Barthel in 13:49 when Roderick Strong pinned Alexander Wolf with a sick kick. Austin Theory head and shoulders above the rest in in-ring performance. A bit iffy on Barthel because of the incident in-game, the bullying storm, shall we say. But Roddy's somebody I'm trying to push forward, and there'll be certain members of the Magnificent Seven that won't be booked as Magnificent, that's for sure. But anyway, the opener, a nice solid 65 rated match. Next up, with a promo from the Viper Randy Orton, and it was a 76. He's hyping his match up with Jay White. If had a wee bit of back and forth, obviously Orton's noticed that Jay White's been on a wee bit of run since joining from New Japan. He defeated Seth Rollins previously, and Orton's trying to get back into winning ways in hopes that he can stop the momentum of Jay White. And you know how my booking goes, decent matchup. Jay White gets the win over Randy Orton in 15-16 with the Blade Runner. Good matchup, 72. Jay gets put over by Orton, and we ever wonder if Orton will get to the main event scene again, but a good win for Jay. Johnny Gargano cuts a promo. He's hyping his matchup later tonight with Roman Reigns, again 84. As Johnny Wrestling will be defending his IC belt against Reigns. This has been a feud that's been kind of brewing for a wee bit. It looked like Big E was going to win the championship, but Gargano's 1 year on as Intercontinental Champion, and he says the big dog is not going to stop him later tonight. And that matchup was right next to it, and it was a superb matchup that saw Roman Reigns defeat Johnny Gargano in 1808 with a spear, meaning that Roman Reigns is your new Intercontinental Champion. So 80 rating, both guys had pretty good chemistry that lifted the match. If Roman Reigns didn't have the pop cap at the time, limiting him to 79, then Roman Reigns would have been in the world title scene. But because he can't break that cap, I can't push him any further. So WWE have obviously continued to push him regardless, but unless he breaks that cap, IC will be his limit. But he picks up the win. The year-long reign of Gargano is over, and the big dog is your IC champion on Smackdown. Next up is our wee kind of project. We're trying to get Vanessa Bourne over. So she just has a little segment just kind of walking about and people taking notice of her, which you get a 22. This was stemming from the rumours that were kicking about that Vanessa Bourne was on the main roster but hadn't ever debuted. So my challenge I gave myself was, we'll put her on SmackDown, we'll just have her appear every so often, no matches, let's just see if we can get her over. We're trying it that way. So 22 for Vanessa Bourne. Next up, with a grudge match that saw Keith Lee defeat Braun Strowman in 12:50 by Power Slam. A very respectable 80 rating. Was this steal the show? It was. This matchup was used to kind of showcase Keith Lee and try and get him over. Braun Strowman had basically been beating up Finn Balor. Keith Lee made the save, and the two big men have went at it tonight, with Keith Lee picking up the victory. Next up, we had the SmackDown Tag Team Championships on the line. And in a decent matchup, the team of Santana and Ortiz defeated the Anti-Authority Alliance, Daniel Bryan and AJ Styles, when Ortiz pinned AJ Styles. It was the third title defence for Santana and Ortiz. Daniel Bryan carried the match in terms of in-ring performance, because I still feel Bryan's got one more run, whilst AJ has been hampered a bit by physical decline. But these two guys obviously put Santana and Ortiz over huge, and Daniel, when they split up again, can go back up to the main event level. The 74, very respectable, and a good win for the Tag Team Champions. And after the matchup, they just have a little bit of bickering and arguing and going, come on man, we can make sure we do it next time against Santana and Ortiz. Next up in our promo with Sasha, who is hyping her matchup with Rhea Ripley as a 53. She's kind of lost her way a wee bit as a babyface, but she started picking up victories, and she believes that tonight is going to be her night to reclaim the Women's Championship on SmackDown. The match itself had subpar wrestling and little heat, but Rhea Ripley picks up the win over Sasha in 14:25 with Soul Food, giving her her fifth defence of the women's title. There was a temptation to put it back on Sasha, but I've got an idea of where I want to go with the women's division on SmackDown, and unfortunately in terms of the championship, that won't be going in Sasha Banks' waist at this particular time. So Rhea continues, Sasha back to the drawing board for her. More Tag Team Championships on the line, this time with Raw, and continuing on from the feud between the Undisputed Era and the Disciples of Rollins against the Magnificent Seven. It was a bout that had subpar wrestling and little heat, as the Grizzled Young Veterans defeated the Undisputed Era in 7:52 when James Drake pinned Bobby Fish with a Head and Shoulders DDT. This was the second defence of the Raw Tag Team Championships for the Grizzled Young Veterans. So we're changing here, gimmick, and that is just Kyle O'Reilly with a poor rating as anti-hero. It's because he's now babyface, and Bobby Fish is also changed to being if heel or babyface. He is now being anti-hero, and he got adequate. So there you go, one benefited, one did not. But anyway, good retain for the Magnificent Seven Tag Team performances. You can see there, Kyle O'Reilly just a wee bit ahead of the rest. That's a very impressive promo from Chelsea. We've took out Robert Stone, just have him helping her at the side, and a 78 rated promo for her, as she proclaims her chances of becoming the Raw Women's Champion as Shayna Baszler defends against some of the top stars of the division. The match itself was a 62. As an bout that had not a lot of heat and terrible wrestling, Shayna Baszler defeated the likes of Shotzi Blackheart, Tegan Nox, Chelsea Green, Asuka, and Mandy Rose in 10:05 when Shayna had submitted Mandy Rose with a Kimura, giving Shayna Baszler her 9th defence of the women's title and continuing her dominant run. So a good performance there, a 62. In terms of in-ring, you can just see that Asuka and Shayna are just a wee bit above everyone else. So overall, I'm happy with it, and it's going to set up for some big matches down the line. Next up, we've got Drew cutting a promo, which was an 86, so that'll count as our best promo so far. He says it's a shame that he is on this show, he's on this pay-per-view card, and he doesn't have a match. So he's calling out any superstar that wants to face him, and yeah, give him a match effectively, keep him busy. That is intercepted by Smackdown superstar The Fiend Bray Wyatt, and he says, "Just let me in, Drew. Just let me in." So they two will go at it. Drew McIntyre versus The Fiend Bray Wyatt, and their matchup together was a 73. That's not really good at all. Superb matchup. The Fiend over Drew in 1815 with Sister Abigail. I think a lot of that is probably going to be down to just no real build towards it. Inconsistency, explosive ring style, but it was just basically to make sure this event you're not leaving some top tier athletes off the card. So Drew versus The Fiend, 73. Next up is ready for some tag team action, and we have Rollins and Adam Cole, just making sure they're on the same page as they're about to do battle with the two main men of the Magnificent Seven, Walter and Timothy Thatcher. So that's a 73 for their promo. And the match itself was just a 69, although we did have to do a high level of protection here to make sure the right result went over. But in about they had good wrestling and a decent reaction from the crowd. Walter and Timothy Thatcher defeat Rollins and Adam Cole in 1955 when Walter pinned Seth Rollins with a golden bomb. So in terms of in-ring performance, Walter and obviously Thatcher are way off in terms of pop. So we obviously have to protect Seth Rollins here, as you'll see with the road agents notes there. Seth to be kept strong. It's just to make sure we can build some stars. If we can get some more star power, then hopefully more matches go over. So it does hamper the match rating, which is why it's a wee bit further down the card. But in the long term, it should help with our massive feud between the two factions and, of course, the Magnificent Seven. We then move on to the match for the Universal Championship, and The Miz says it's finally his opportunity, finally his chance to try and take the belt back. It's been far too long. 10 years nearly, I think it might actually be more than that, since he was WWE Champion. He wants to win the big one, and this is his opportunity against Matt Riddle. So 78 for The Miz, promo on Riddle. Match itself, 77, not great, but in a superb matchup, The Miz defeats Matt Riddle in 1751. It says underhand and tactics, it was just Maurice that helped. But anyway, The Miz is your new WWE Universal Champion. The man in real life has been hitting out the park for the last 2 years. I would not have begrudged him a WWE title run. But he gets the main prize here on Smackdown, and the bro has to go back to the drawing board. So the crowd are starting to get bummed out, even though my crowd management's turned off, but okay. And a 77 rating there. May need to check my settings on that one. So 79 for the Miz celebration. So great, we're not going to get a great main event because the crowd's already been bummed out. Andrade's promo on Angel Garza for the main event was also 79. So it's all down to this main event matchup. How's it going to deliver? Just a 74, they don't click. Oh no, we'll put all our faith in that being our main event. So this feud's not going to last very long. But about that great heat and good wrestling, Angel Garza defeats Andrade in 23:38 by pinfall when El Moretto wins Zelina Vega interferes, giving Garza the first defence of the WWE title. A 74 because they don't click. I was hoping this would be the making of Angel Garza. But if anything, I fail to realise how these two wouldn't click in real life. Honestly, I think they would have an absolute masterclass. But yeah, burnt out crowd isn't going to help. Worker chemistry is not going to help. Maybe it would have been about an 82. Baffled why that's come up though. It might be some flicking between saves and profiles, but yeah, I've got crowd management turned off, so that's a wee bit annoying. So overall, a 78, and it does see us lose popularity in 16 regions. So in terms of like telling stories and moving people on and putting people over, it's good. In terms of the overall show rating, we'll take a wee look into that and get back to the main screen. Because I definitely took that off. I did not want any crowd management because it was ruined far too many main shows. And I'm here to fantasy book. I'm not here to be a manager. So for some people, it's like, haha, you deserved it. I can understand that, but yeah, we're here to fantasy book, man. Not sit and have to manage matches and keep crowds hot and bring them back down to earth. So 40,000 enjoyed the show. The Undertaker is now retired. He's going to take a staff role that we'll know about in the next few weeks. Anything else there? AAA extension rumour for Mascarita Sagrada 2000. We have nothing else there. Directly FXs. Back to the main roster comes Heidi Lovelace. We kind of forgot to have her new contract, so she had to basically vacate the tag team championships, which was a bit of an oversight by myself. But when you're running 4 shows a week, in this case we were running 6 in the last week there with 3 different user characters, it's going to take a lot. So I am absolutely going to hold that up, and we'll sort those contracts out after the video. Enrique Escobar wants to come at the main roster? Absolutely not. You're going to be the main man on the Wrestling Legends house. Now 7 million people watched SummerSlam, 4.52 on a buy rate. So let's check a few things. So my preferences, enable crowd management. So I'm going to look at that. How would they be getting bumped out when I don't have crowd management on? Oh no, there's there. Enable crowd bump out. Well, that's completely on me. I didn't know that was another setting, so I'll put my hands up and say I just made the list because I'm a stupid idiot. Financially, 100 million in the bank, so that's good. Obviously we'll lose a bit of money through miscellaneous and tax, but we will fire a lot of that money back into networks just to make sure we're getting stuff over. Size wise, pretty good, 78. As I say, we just need to watch in a few places that we are on the brink and could probably jump back down to large, but if it does come to the stage we're at large, that's fair enough. In fact, it might even drop even further, because I think 77 across the board in the States, but we're fantasy booking. The way WWE is in real life at the moment, I think we can probably drop quite considerably to be matched up with them. But that is us for just now. As far as we're going, I want to get a few more people over. I think I might just wait till the new product comes in, and then after WrestleMania 38, I think it's 38, I hope it's 38, that's when we'll start to basically change our pay-per-view calendar. So instead of one every month, it'll be 1 per month for a brand, apart from the big 5, and I might even make it a big 6, just so then it's kind of like evens out a wee bit. So obviously we'll have Rumble, Mania, Money in the Bank. Might even make something like Extreme Rules, just to keep it kind of like that, but just making sure the big 5, the usual big 4 plus Money in the Bank, that's effectively one of them, and then just going for there. So you might see like No Mercy come back in. I might even just go brave and make it 5 months that have 2 pay-per-views, and then that 1 month that focus is on WWE Evolution. So we'll take it into account, but something else, as I say, we'll bring in once the new product's here, which, to give you an idea, is a long way away. The fact that it's still another 7 months and 1 week to go. So thanks for tuning in. I apologise for making an ass of the crowd management and the crowd burnout. Amazing how we're so far into the game and I'm still learning silly little things, but hey, if I make mistakes and people are watching, then they don't make the same mistakes, so hopefully it does help people in that regard. But as always, thank you very much for watching. Enjoy the rest of your day, and hopefully I'll see you for the next event, which is of course the night where every belt is on the line, night, or Clash of Champions as it's now known, and that is in 3 weeks time in game. So thanks for watching. Remember, you can watch a live play of some episodes on twitch.tv/21Maxwell. That's just basically going to be the booking of Raw, Smackdown, NXT, and of course WWE Legends House. So see you later. Bye bye.